Okay, this is the next step in planning out this shell game, and it's going to be significant. I'm actually thinking about breaking it up into a couple of videos. So we'll see how it goes. But essentially, we're going to be taking what we've got here from our plan and turning it into a game. It's important that as you do this, you pay attention to what's being said and understand it. Take it in as I say it. And if you don't understand something, go back and rewatch the last few seconds because it does get complicated. There's sort of a lot more happening here than has been happening in the last few tutorials. So it's important that you are, as I say, taking it in, okay? I actually remake these videos every few years just to keep the software up to date and any changes that I make. And even I have to rewatch parts a couple of times, and I made these videos because it does get complicated. Okay, and keep in mind that as we go through this, we're getting closer and closer to you guys doing your own code and coming up with your own games and having to make your own plans, which means you need to think this through. And to think it through, you need to understand it. Even within this, where I'm starting to hand over some of the control and some of the thinking to you guys, I'm still providing you really the structure of how to plan and think this thing through. And at some point, like especially in your ISU, you're going to have to do it yourself. You're basically given a challenge and you have to come up with the solution yourself. So take it in. All right, so let's take a look at what we're talking about here. This is where we're going. I'm going to show you this game, and I think I did in the last video as well. And basically the chick, the chick is hidden in these eggs, okay, and we use the costumes to hide and show them, and then there are variables that are being used. Okay, so right now the egg position is 1, so if I hit 1, it'll tell me you found it. Okay, that's a costume change right there. It goes back and then it resets the position. Okay, and if I get 1 or 3, those are the incorrect solution, and it tells me that that's wrong, and then it just lets me continue playing until I get it right, and then it resets everything. Okay, let's take a quick look at the code, okay, because there's a bit more happening here. Okay, so we've got this on the hen, this on the chick, and then each empty egg, okay, has some more code. So you can see we're getting more and more complicated, okay? I'll remind you that it's important as you do this to be adding content each time comments each time you create a block, because it's important that you can demonstrate that you understand what's happening to me. So when I look at your work, I say, yes, you're comprehending this. The other reason it's important is as we get into your cumulative assessment and your ISU for this, you're going to have a different solution than other students might. And for me to understand and be able to assess you, I have to be able to follow the thread of your thinking. I need to be able to look at what you did. And I'm going to look at, you'll start handing in these sort of documents where you go, here's how I'm planning this thing. And then I'm going to look at your work and go, did you follow the plan? If you didn't follow the plan, well, then we're going to have some questions about where you got this work from, because it's very easy to find these sorts of solutions. So you need to show me that you, one, can plan something out and then stick to your plan and make changes if needed. And also I need to understand how you solve this thing, right? So like I have 30 students in a class, I might get 20 different solutions, and to be able to mark it, I need to understand what you're thinking, okay? All right, so let's get started with this. I'm gonna just quickly pause the video here and just make some quick adjustments to my Scratch program. So you'll see me in a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I got logged out and had to log back in. So one thing I also want to mention, if you come across a problem that while you're working on a project, you might get a bar across here. Sometimes it says it can't save. You're having a problem saving. Okay. If that happens, you haven't necessarily lost your work. So I'm going to go into this program here. I'm working on this guy and I get that you can't save it. You're just going to go file and you're going to save on your computer. Okay. And then you can reset your internet or whatever, and then load the program back from your computer and then save now, and it'll save it in your cloud version, right? In your My project area. Okay. So just know that if you do have that problem, it's not the end of the world. You can solve that problem easily enough. Okay. The other thing I want to mention is that there are 2 versions of this. So right now we have basic solve, and then in the next tutorial, we're going to be doing something called user experience, which is a better version of the same tutorial. We're basically going to fix this problem, right? When I hit 1, it shows me the incorrect location, which doesn't make sense. So this is a simpler piece of code. We're going to get to a better version of this where we then are only shown the correct location or the incorrect location if it's wrong. Okay, so like here, the position is 2. Sorry, let me get one right. Position's 1, I've hit 2, it tells me that's wrong. I hit 3, it tells me that's wrong until I get the right one. Okay, and so we're going to get there in the next lesson because it is more complicated. Okay, so let's get started here. Remind yourself what we're looking at here. So we have a start where we set everything up. Okay, we have some broadcast and some repositioning happening. Then we have this sort of key press from the user and checking if their key press is equal to the variable. And if so, then we say yes. And if no, then we say miss. We broadcast, or sorry, not broadcast, we say some user response and start things over. Okay, those are the steps to this game. So we're going to set that up. So let's go and start a new project. Create. All right, so let's get rid. So I'm going to actually pause this and set everything up. You guys can, I think, at this point, you should be able to set up your screens properly. So I'm going to pause this. Okay, and I'm back. I've set up my my scene here, and I'm going to show you a couple things I want you to do. I want you to set very specifically some positions. So the hen needs to be set at -125 by 50. The chick, this first, so I renamed these. These were called, I think, hatchling, something like that. This is going to be called chick. This is going to be called empty egg 1 and empty egg 2. Okay, we name those here. Okay, so just change those accordingly. Okay, and we're also going to position chick at -50 and -100. The empty egg is going to be at 0 and -100, and empty egg 2 is going to be at 50 and -100. Okay, once you've got those in the position that you need them in, I then want you to go over and we're going to change some costumes. So we're going to go to chick. I'm going to go over to costumes. Actually, I'll do empty egg first so that we can see. This is the default. Okay, we've got the egg here. We've got the kind of this peeking here, and then we've got a full reveal. Okay, let me zoom out so you can see what that looks like. Okay, it's like that. Okay, and so we're going to get rid of this guy here. We don't need the middle one. And we're going to rename both of these. This is going to be called empty egg. Okay, and this one's going to be called, actually, this is empty. So I need to actually get rid of this. So I'm just going to click on the check and delete it. I've already done, let's set it back to default. We're going to call this empty egg reveal. Okay, and I think I did the same thing. So now I've already done this one here. Okay, we've got, it should be empty reveal. We'll go back to that, sorry. We're just going to call it empty reveal. Okay, so let's just take a look. I've got the hen, which I haven't actually changed anything. We're just going to keep that as it is. Chick, we've got costumes egg closed and chick reveal, egg closed and chick reveal. There's the two. Okay, and on the empty egg 1, we've got egg closed, empty reveal, egg closed, empty reveal. Okay, and also on egg 2, we've got that should be egg closed, egg dash closed. Okay, and empty reveal. Sorry, I think I messed that up. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to everyone. We've now got these 3 eggs. We've got their costumes set up, and we have positioned them accordingly. Okay. The other thing we're going to do is, just to make this easier while we're working through it, I'm actually going to turn the chick to chick reveal, just to help you guys see where this is, because the way we're going to make this work is we're going to use these positions. We're basically going to call one position sort of the it position, and the other 2 are going to be our empty eggs. All right, and that'll make sense when we get into the code. All right, so let's take a look at what we've got so far. Let's head back. Oops, I want to leave that there. I'm going to head back over to code. All right, and let's look at what we're doing. So here's our start, right? Our start is going to probably be, start the game, or like a flag press, the green flag. And then we've got 3 things happening. Okay, we have a hen that says click 1, 2, or 3 to find my chick. Okay, that's going to be a say. We've got this generate random number between 1 and 3 to assign to a variable. That's going to be choosing the position for us. And then we got to reset the positions and costumes based on that reset. Okay. Once that happens, we'll move on to this, but let's get started with this stuff here. All right, so head over here. I'm going to name this. You guys should be naming your files. Okay, be sure that you are to make it easier to find them later. This is going to be called hen game. And I'm going to, we should put our last name, so St.Romain hen game. And I'm going to, for me, all right, 2023. So that I know what I'm working on. Okay, so first, let's start with this. We need our first piece of code. So we want to start the game. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go over to here, and I'm going to go to my events, and I'm going to start off with when this flag is clicked. Okay, and we want to do a couple things. We're going to let's take a look. We want to start with this hen prompt. Okay, so oops, we're going to go over the hen. Here we are. Okay, and the hen is going to have a piece of code that says when this is clicked, this guy here, we're going to do our say. So let's go to looks, and we're going to go down to say. And I think in the old video, I said something like press 1, 2, or 3 key. I'm going to make that a little clearer. So I'm going to say press 1, 2, or 3 on your keyboard and find my check, something like that. Okay, and we're going to say that for, actually, copy this because I don't want to say it for 2 seconds. I want to say it until the user interacts with it. So we're actually going to get rid of that, and we're going to say it until we start our game, until the user does it. Okay, all right, so that's the first piece of that. And let's head back over to check. Okay, and I'm going to put some code on the check. We're going to do the next piece. Okay, that's this guy. The next piece is this generate of the random number. Okay, well, that can go in a couple of places. We're actually going to put it on this chick. We could put it on the hen. In fact, we could also put it on the stage by clicking here, but we don't need to at this point. For now, we'll just put it on chick. All right, so we want to create a random number. Well, how do we do that? Let's go down to operators, and there's this guy here called pick random between 1 and we want 3. But I can't just stick this here. I got to figure out how that's going to work. So I'm going to create a variable. The variable is going to be called egg position. Okay, so let's go down to make a variable, and I'm going to say egg position. I'm going to say leave everything the same. I say okay, and then I'm going to say set my egg position to a random number between 1 and 3. All right, let's see what happens. I'm going to leave that checked so I can see it. And if I click it, it sets it to 1 or 2 or 3 or 1 or 1 or 1 or 2 or 2. And that seems to be working. Okay, so that's creating our egg position. I'm going to put that in here. All right, so what happens? Well, when I set that position, I need, right, so let's take a look. We're setting that position, okay? And we have to reset all the positions for each of the customs as well, because let's imagine that you're playing the game, okay? You choose your egg or whatever, or you're starting the game. This needs to now randomly or not randomly position this guy in the position that's being told. So if egg position is randomly chosen as 1, it needs to put this chick in position 1. It needs to then put the 2 remaining chicks in position 2 and 3. If it chose 2, it's going to put the chick in position 2, and it's going to move empty egg, this guy, over to position 1, and empty egg 2 into position 3. So it's going to basically shuffle these according to what's happening. It's going to first do this one and then do these 2. Now, to make things easier, I'm always going to have empty egg 1 on the left side relative to empty egg 2, which is always going to be on the right side. So if it turns out that this is positioned into position 2, like right now, okay, this will go to 2, and then empty egg 1 will be on the left in position 1, empty egg 2 will be on the right in position 3. If in the case that it's, let's say egg position is 1, the chick is here, empty egg 1 is on the left, empty egg 2 is on the right. Okay, and then same thing if the chick is in position 3, if this is egg position is 3, chick goes here, and again, empty egg 1 is on the left, empty egg 2 is on the right relative to these 2, right? So that'll be here and that'll be here. Okay, this will make a little more sense when you see it, but it is complicated. Just sort of understand what we're doing here. We're trying to remember, because these don't look any different. We're trying to remember where they are so that we as the programmer or the coder can make changes based on that. Okay, and if we're consistent, that makes it easier later. Okay, so we are Done with this piece, we're now resetting all positions and costumes to broadcast. Okay, so let's take a look at how we do that. What are we doing? Well, we're positioning some objects. Let's take a look at how we do that. I'm going to go to my code, right? And I'm going to make some code based on this information that we have. So let's go over to check. We've chosen our number. Based on that number, we need to do this shuffle I'm talking about. So we're going to use an if statement for that. Let's go down to our controls, and we've talked about these already. In this case, we're actually going to use something slightly more complicated, which is an else if. Okay, so it says here, in this case, we've got something that says if something, then do this. But we actually want something a little more complicated, which is going to say if something, then do this, and if not that, then do this. It's kind of like it's called if else or else if. Okay, and we're going to make it make some changes accordingly. So we can tell that we need to put a condition in here. So let's go down to our operators, okay? And we're going to say if something is equal to something. So we're looking for the equals operator. There it is. Thank you. And we're going to basically say if egg position, which is this guy, is equal to what? Well, if it's equal to 1. So let's get rid of this and say 1, put egg position in there. If egg position is equal to 1, then I want to broadcast. Let's go over here and take a look where this is. If the variable is equal to 1, we're going to broadcast left. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to go over here and go broadcast. And I'm going to broadcast a message, and I'm going to make a new message, and that's going to be position 1. I think I should make it left position. We'll call it. That's probably easier to remember. Left position. Okay, so right, left position. And if I'm going to duplicate that, actually no, I won't yet. I'm going to broadcast left position. Okay, and if the egg position is not 1, it's got to be 2 or 3, right? It's either 1, 2, or 3. So I now need to put that into this point, but this only allows me to put one other condition. So I've got to now take this guy here, okay, which is that same else if, and I'm going to put this in here, which now will let me say if egg position is 1, do this. I can now duplicate this and say if egg position is 2, I can say do this. So I'm going to go duplicate. I'm going to make a new message, and that's going to be center position, broadcast center position. And then if egg position is 3, it's going to do something else. Now, because it can only be 1, 2, or 3, those are the only options. We've already got 1 done. We've already got 2 done. So it can only be 3. We actually don't need to put the other condition in here. So it's either 1 or 2 or something else, which has to be 3. So we're just going to put in this guy, and we're going to say a new message, which is going to be right position. Oops. Position. Okay. So now we sort of have this setting up and broadcasting. So it's broadcasting based on this number, right? We click on this thing, it picks a number, and it says, okay, that number is 1, 2, or 3. If it's 1, broadcast left position. If it's 2, broadcast center position. And if it's 3, broadcast right position. Why are we doing that? Well, because we're going to be using this sort of 3 positions, 1 as an it position, and 2 and 3 as the kind of other positions. We need to position this guy according to what number is chosen, and then move these guys around into the sort of not it positions. Okay, so if it's position 2, we're going to say, all right, egg position is 2, broadcast center position, which the egg is going to go, oh, that sort of the chick is going to go, oh, I have to be in center position. So who's listening for this broadcast? Well, all the eggs are, because they need to be repositioned. So let's head over to them and sort of see what information do they need to get. Now they need to be obviously listening. So we're going to say when I receive, when I receive, and what are the messages they can receive? Well, when I receive, let's start off with left position. And when I receive left position, what do I want to do? Well, I want to move this chick into the left position. And those numbers were 50 and negative 100, I think. Let's go get a motion, and we're going to get a go to, okay? And we're going to change X to negative 50 and negative 100, okay? And so left position will do that. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to say when I receive center position, well, where should I go? I should go here. And that was x was 0 and negative 100. So I'm going to make that 0. Okay. And I'm going to duplicate again. And I'm going to do our last one, which is the right position. And this time it's going to say 50 and negative 100. So now what should happen is when we broadcast left position, this chick should go to the left position, which is these coordinates. When I broadcast center position, okay, if it's 2, center position, this chick should go to the center position, which is 0, negative 100. And finally, if it's a 3, variable chosen as 3, it's going to broadcast right position, and this chick is going to move to the right position, which is 50 by 100. So I'm going to actually check this. Now it's going to be a little tricky to tell because this is going to move over top of these, which is why I left this chick here so we can see it. But let's try. If I click this guy here, right now it's, it's in the same position, but it moved to 2. I click this, it's 2 again. I click this again, and again, it's 1. It moved into position 1. I click it again, it's 2, and it's moving according to the position. I'm just waiting to get a 3 to make sure 3 is working. There it goes, okay? So now we have this moving accordingly. Every time I get my number, it just repositions this egg. Okay, so that's working, great. What's the next piece? Well, I need to do the same thing with these eggs. These eggs have to react to this position. So it's going to use the same code. And so you can see that here. If the variable is 1, we broadcast left, center, and right, and then we need to reposition the eggs accordingly. Okay, so if 1 is my variable, the chick is here, and remember these two are going to be left and right according relative to each other. So let's copy this guy. I'm just going to go like this and go Command C on my keyboard. I'm going to go over to empty egg, and what am I going to do here? Well, I'm going to drop in the same code. Okay, so I'm going to Command V. I'm going to paste that here, and I'm going to do the same thing. So paste, paste, and paste, and I'm going to update this accordingly. So in this case, let's say this is left position, this is center position, and this is right position. So where does it need to go? Well, here's where we have to do a little bit of thinking. When the chick is in position 1, this egg needs to be in position, the center position, right? The center position is, what was it? Was 0 and negative 100. Okay, so in that case, when this receives left position, because remember, this is just targeting, or that broadcast is just telling the chick where to go. These guys just react. So this guy is going to be in position, in 0 and negative 100 when left position, okay, which puts him here. Okay, notice if I do this, it puts him in the position we want because the chick is here. All right, when I receive center position, okay, that means the chick is in the center position. Where do I want this egg to go? Well, then I want it to go to the left, which is going to be this guy, negative 50, okay, by negative 100. And when I go right position, okay, that means the chick is going to be in the right position. Where do I want the other egg to be? I want it to be in the far left position because I got to make room for the right, the second egg to be here. All right, let's go over to here, and we're going to let me just put this guy back in this position. Okay, let's go over to our second egg. I'm going to paste my code again. 1, 2, 3. These have just been copied from previously. In this case, now we're talking about empty egg 2. This is always going to be to the right of this egg. Okay, so in this case, when the chick is here, empty egg 1 is in the left, in the center position. Empty egg 2 is in the right position, and that code is 50. Okay, so when I receive left position, meaning put the chick in left position, this egg is going to go to right position. So let's just move this, make sure it's working. It is. It puts it in the right position. Okay. When I receive left, this is going to be center. This is going to be right. Okay. Left, center, right. These are the reactions to the placement of this chick. When I receive center position, that means the chick is in the center position. The far left is always going to be empty egg, and the far right is going to be empty egg 2. So I need to be at 50. Okay, which is again in the same position. So right now, these two, this and this, are doing the same thing. They're basically putting them over here on the right, and that's because in either case, this chick is here or this chick is here, and then the empty egg 1 is either in the opposite place. So this guy's always going to be on the right for these two situations. Okay, the last one is when the chick is put in the right position. Okay, if the chick goes over here, well, then I need, so in the third position, right, I need to then adjust this guy to be over to the center. So I'm going to go 0, okay, like that. All right, so this is all a little confusing. Let's do this. Let's look at what's happening. I'm purposely positioning these in some weird spots. Okay, there's check way over there. Empty egg is up here. 1 is up here. Empty egg 2 is over here, just so you can understand what's happening. So let's go over here. I'm going to say, let's say, for example, the random number that it chooses is 3. Okay, so if it goes to 3, I'll show you how you can force it to make a 3. Okay, pick a random between 3 and 3. Okay, and when I do this, it forces it to go to 3. Okay, so let's move these guys again. All right. So if it's, oops, back over here, and we're going to start off with 1 and make you guys see clearly what's happening. So when I click this, it's going to set my variable to 1 because I've only given it that choice. In that case, it's going to say if egg position is 1, which it's going to be, it's going to broadcast left position. When that happens, chick, empty egg, and empty 2 are going to receive left position. Chick, which is this guy, is going to go to position 1, which is the left position, position 1 over here, okay, which is -50 and 100. Empty egg 1 is going to receive left position. It's going to go to the center. And empty egg 2 is going to receive left position, and it's going to go to the right. And that's because they're all reacting to this. So let's go through each piece by itself. I'm going to go this guy, a left position. So let's say that this happened and it broadcast a left position. It will then receive it, so it goes here, which is the left position. This will receive left position. It'll go there. And this will receive left position. It'll go there. Okay, let's see this in action. I'm moving these out of the way. I'm put them back, way out of the way here, back over this. And this time I'm going to broadcast left position. I click this and all of them go into position. Okay, and that all happens if egg position is 1, in which case it puts everything to left position. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. If it's center position, okay, if I click these, it moves the chick into position 1, and these guys are left and right according to each other, right? They're relative to each other. There's the one on the right, there's the one on the left, okay? Because chick was placed in the center position. Let's go back over here, put this guy back in here, and if broadcast right position, well, the chick is going to go to the right, and these guys are going to react accordingly. There's a chick on the right, these guys are on the left. Okay, so hopefully that's making sense. And if not, rewatch the video at this point, because this is there's a lot happening. Okay, we've set everything up. We've got our hen prompt. We've got our random number being generated. We're resetting our positions according to what's been asked. And then here, once our variables are checked, we're broadcasting left, center, or right, depending on where I want the chick to go, and repositioning them all together. At this point, we're just waiting for input, and that's where the user starts to interact with the game. I'm going to pause this video here so that I can make this into a couple videos, because it does get a bit long, and I think it might make sense for you to rewatch parts of this if all of it is not totally clear. Okay, understand what's happening, understand what each of these things means, and understand how they relate to this code, and then we'll pick it up in the next video.